Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are continuing our journey towards the shell scripting. So I'm gonna actually divide it into logical parts, the shell scripting, because normally shell scripting you're not only used for handling the file system on the analytical system, and being the data and analytical professional, we are not going that deeper into the shell like the infrastructure folks are. Our responsibility is just to utilizing the capabilities whenever we want to establish the integration or the data integration. So we're gonna see all the functionality from that perspective. So it will really help you to boost your knowledge set, to build some really powerful integration and analytical capabilities. Additionally, once we set up the API configurations or endpoints, sometimes the shell really help, especially in the cloud environment, because obviously, like I mentioned in the last video, that once you understand the command line interface, once you start programming it, it really help you build some powerful routine that save a lot of your time and energy to do the repetition task. And we're gonna see in the future video. Now in this video we're gonna look at the conditional environment, where we can specify condition within the bash environment. So let's jump into our dev environment. You have already seen on my screen, so let me just see where I am. So I'm in my workspace. So I'm just going to create. So by the way, mkdir will help you create a new directory structure. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to call scripts demo, and you can see, let me go my script demo. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do nano, and I'm going to call it if demo dot sh, right? And now you can see I'm back into my Nano editor. One thing I really like with Nano, like you, instead of Vim, you can really navigate without, changing the keys, and you don't need to shift the insert and the execution mode of the command. But obviously Vim has its own attributes, and people who like Vim, they really prefer to stick with Vim. So it's personal choice, no pressure. So now what we are going to do, so we have, if we want to print anything on screen, we have two commands, echo and printf. And if you know a little bit about C language, which is one of the core mother language after assembly to most of the languages, or the solution in these days. So you can see bash is inheriting a lot of things, or taking a lot of things from C. And tell you the truth, at some point, if you want to develop your own routine, and if you understand the C language, on Linux operating system, you literally can build, or on Unix system, you literally can build these routines by yourself. And obviously, if you are working with Mac, so you can use Objective C to build some capabilities. But by the way, we have the Unix capabilities available in the Macintosh as well. All right. So in the bash, we have two commands. We're gonna try both. With echo, we can provide the information, and it's gonna print the information. If we provide something in the double quotes, it's gonna print as it is. So let's say what I'm going to say. I'm printing bash version, printing bash version. And then I'm just providing the command. So it's going to, so what echo will do, it will look at the command which is coming next to it, and it will execute, and whatever the outcome, that's going to come on the screen. Same thing, we can print using printf, and printf its own structure. It has different flags that depends upon what kind of information is coming to the printf, and based on that that identifier, it identify the data type and print the value. So like you can see in here, we are providing a person sign s, which indicates that we are going to print a string. And now you can see as the next parameter, obviously it now expecting some value, but that value can come as a text, as a hardcode text, or we can pass the parameter. So always remember, if we want to pass the parameter to our bash shell, we can pass once we type the bash command, we can pass that parameter after typing space. But that parameter we can get back by using $sign, and then obviously the position of the parameter. So if we want to get the first parameter, we can get use it with $1. If we want to get the second parameter, we can use the $2. So that's how we work with the parameters which are coming to bash shell. All right. Now, obviously, I'm just, these are some two variable. So how you can, so up to this point, we have just seen the hardcore text, but the variables are the most important part of the programming or the scripting. So if you want to store some temporary value into a if you want to store a value into a temporary container, we use normally variables, right? So simple definition, variables are temporary container that store your value, right? So in bash shell, the declaration of variable is pretty straightforward, very easy. Like you can just type the variable name, and then you can assign a value, and it will identify the data type of the variable by looking at the value which is coming to the variable. Same way, I have declared two variable. One is the alphanumeric text variable, and the other one is a numerical. And you can see I have assigned 0. Now we have three different mod where we can print the information, and we're going to discuss this mod in the later way. But in this one, I'm going to show you the how easy to create the files using the bash scripting, which is something you have to understand the library. You have to import the packages to create the file or store the data within bash. It's really, because that has been designed to handle the file directly and the operating system. So these pre-built packages are awesome to create such files, such tasks. So how we gonna create a file? If we want to specify anything, so for example, after printf, if I'm not going to specify anything, the default output device is always going to be a screen. But if I want to store a value in or the outcome in a file, so all we need to use the greater than sign, single greater than sign, and then I need to type the file name where I want to store my output. So what I'm going to call it, I'm going to call it output.txt, right? So that's it. Now, once we finish in Nano, you can see there are commands which are coming in the bottom of the editor. All we need to press the respective command, and it will perform the action. Because now I'm going to exit it, I'm just going to press Control S, and like if you remember in the last video, it asked us that it has identified the changes in the memory we want to write on the disk. Yes, we want to write on the disk, and then it again asks, do you want to save the changes on the similar file, or you want to create a new file and want to override the existing file? So I'm just going to press enter. Now, just for a confirmation, you can see all the changes we have made. Now they have been saved. Now let me just close it. Now this time it's not asking because we haven't made any change. Now I'm going to run it. We have a bash command that we can use, if demo, and you can see it automatically pick the whole file, right? So now let me run it without providing any parameters. So you can see printing bash version, bash bash dash version, and then it is bringing the hello sign of explanation, but there is no value coming in, right? Let me just check one more thing. For somehow this equal is not working, it's just printing I'll just see later on why it's not showing. So let me just run it. Now you can see the printing batch version, and now we are getting the batch version into our screen. So now we're still unable to see any message because we are not passing any parameter. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say hello bash, and I'm just passing this. So that's my first parameter, because after a space of my scripting file, I'm just providing that value. So now you can see we are getting hello bash. So that's the way. So I can go back into my, you know, if demo, all that's if demo. So we're gonna later on extend. Let me just, what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to put a space, and I'm going to add one more string. And what I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to get another parameter, which is going to be $2. Let me save it. Yes. And now look, instead of one parameter, I'm just going to add another one. And you can see we are now getting these two parameters. By the way, we can get these parameters into a variable. So if we want, so because sometimes it's not very helpful to use these parameters directly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say param one is going to be $1, and I'm going to say param two is going to be $2. And now instead of printing this, I'm going to say param one and param two, right? So that's the only difference. Now instead of using the parameter directly from the command prompt, I'm storing them into the variable. And by the way, whenever you want to access your variable, you need to start with the $sign, because $sign before the variable, before any value, indicate that's a variable. So compiler understand that, okay, it needs to get the value of that variable and use that value instead of the text of the name of the variable. So now let me save it again. Yeah. So now let's come again, and you can see we are getting similar output, but the difference is now we know that we have already started utilizing variable. So that's the first part, how we can use the variables, and how we can get the command line parameter back into our shell. Hopefully you understand these concept, and it will be helpful for you to utilize in your own work. Feel free to put any comments if you have any question. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you in the next video with the if demo. Thanks for watching.